This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, in today's session, I'm going to discuss about the unit testing. We have different kinds of framework like nose2 as well as unit test, Pytest, okay, a document test. There are so many frameworks are available, around the 8 to 9 frameworks are available. In that first framework is Pytest framework. For this Pytest framework, you have to install this Pytest module. It's a third-party library actually. You want to install this library and then you can import using Pytest. The module will be Pytest module. After that, you can use various annotations to skip the test cases, to execute test case execute test case parallel. All things we can do in the Pytest. All things we can do in the Pytest like parallel execution, as well as you can skip the test cases, and then you can set the pre-order test cases. All they can do. Whenever you are writing some test cases, the test case should start with test underscore. The beginning should start with test. You can see here. Now I have various methods. I'm going to test one by one. Okay, in that I'm going to have the one program called, yesterday we did write happy number. We did the happy number. Okay, leave this program. It's not a complete method. Okay, now, okay. Now what I can do, yeah, I'm going to have one program called disarium number. Disarium number. I want to test this function. For unit testing, we can use different kinds of frameworks. The first framework I'm going to use, Pytest framework. What you can do, you can create a py file. The py file name should be begins or starts with test. Now I am in the suffix, I am putting underscore test. I'm going to make it as sample2 underscore test. I want to import the module called what module? Pytest module I want to import. And then close this. Okay. Now I can write some functions to test my function. I can write some methods. Okay, so it should start with test underscore. I going to test which one? I'm going to test the method called disarium number, right? My test case name will start with test underscore disarium number. Disarium number. This name will come as my test case name. My test case name will be test underscore disarium number, and then you can sorry, you can start using the function like same what you did in the sample one, right? Same thing you can do here. Now I want to call this program underscore 3, right? The file name is program underscore 3.py. Okay, for that what I have to do, from from what I can do, from interview programs, import. The class name is going to be, sorry, my file name is going to be program 3, right? Program 3. Now what we can do, program 3 dot the method I'm going to test calculate sum. That I want to pass an argument. The argument is I want to pass the number I want to pass. I want to pass the number, right? I want to pass the number. Okay. I want to pass the number. What you can do? I going to pass like 89. 89 is Dysarium number, right? 89 is Dysarium number. Now you can mention number equal to 89. Number equal to 89. Now pass this as the argument to this function. It's going to produce a result as is what the result is going to produce. What it's going to produce? It's going to give the sum value actually. It's going to give the sum, right? It's going to give the sum. If both sum value and number value are same, then you can say it's a Dysarium number, right? What you can do, you can store this value in one variable called sum equal to. Now we can use assert. Now we can use the assert. Assert of which one is actual value, which one is expected value? The expected value is num. Actual value is going to be sum. Okay. This is how you can check your function. This kind of unit testing using assert condition you can test. Okay. Now whatever it did, right? Same thing we did. And then you can give some meaningful messages for here. Comma. Test case for Dysarium number. Dysarium is passed. Dysarium number is passed. You can run your scripts using Pytest, and then you can provide your Py file name. The Py file name is sample2 underscore test, right? Sample2 underscore test dot py. It's showing that file or directory not found because currently your path will be Python scripts. Your path will be what path you have? Python scripts. But your scripts, it is in which folder? It is in entry programs directory folder. Now, what you have to do? You have to use cd entry programs. Once you come to the entry programs, then you can run your scripts. py.test sample2 test.py. Again, it's showing like file or directory not found. I think hope it's not in the corresponding directory. I guess. Okay, hold a minute. Yeah, sample2 underscore test is in some other directory. Yeah, I'm not able to see sample underscore 2 here. The sample underscore 2 is. That is sample underscore 2. Where is the sample underscore 2? Where is the sample underscore 2? Here only did it, right? Okay. Now I can do one thing. I can create one py file sample 2 underscore test py file. Now what I can do, I can copy the contents. I already have the contents now. I can copy the contents. Where the contents went? Sample2.py file. Okay. As it is. Import Pytest, and then I'm going to do a unit testing for this method. For that, you want to import the module from interview programs, import the py file name is class, okay, underscore 3, and then you can write one function. The function should start with test underscore, and then test case name will be disarium number. Test underscore disarium number will be test case name, and then you can pass the colon, and then you can write the logics. Now we're going to call program 3 dot calculate sum. This is a method. You click this to calculate sum. You go into this function. Now I want to pass the number argument. The number argument I want to pass. Number I want to pass is 89. Just have a value num equal to 89. Now copy this value and pass the argument to this method, and then store the results in your one variable called actual value, and then keep this value as expected value. Okay, and then pass this expected value as an argument to this function. Now use asset condition, expected value double equal to actual value. Okay, now what you can do, you can run your Pytest. You can give the class name. The class name is sample2.test, right? Sample2.py. Interrupted, one error during collection. What happened? No module for entry from entry programs. Import program 3. Okay. No module named entry programs. It's showing like, okay, because I came into the path, right? I came into the entry programs path. I can't use from entry programs. I can't use from entry programs. What you can do? From program 3 import. You can import a method name. What's the method name? Calculate sum. Now you can remove program 3. And you can call the value. Now you can run your program. Now the test case is passed. Now the test case is passed because right now path is entry programs, right? You can't give from entry programs because I came inside entry programs directory. You should not give from entry programs. You should start with file name. In the program 3 file name, we have calculate sum. Okay, that's why I'm doing like this. From program 3 import calculate sum is a function, and I'm calling the calculate sum function, and then the expected value I'm passing is 89. Now both expected value and actual value are same. Then we can say it's a disarium number, right? Then we can say it's a disarium number. Disarium number. Okay, and then assert. Okay. If you want to skip this test case, what you can do? You can use some annotation, Pytest, and then you can use mark. Okay, I'm going to mark this function as skip. If you want to use skip, you can use skip. Okay, now the test case won't run. If you run this test case, the test case won't run. It is skipped now. Okay, now we're going to see various features of the Pytest. Now, in this example, what you understood? How many units are there? How many units are there? Units means one test case, one unit test case. Okay, how many units are there? Def test greater equal, and test less. Now you want to say how many units are there? You have to say how many units are there. Test underscore. How many units are there? 3 units are there. Totally we have 3 test cases. Now, if you want to run the test case, okay, it's a old material. Okay, actually you have to use py.test. Okay. hyphen v is a verbose. Verbose means it gives some additional information. Okay, whatever getting some errors, right? It will give more information in the console. That's why using the hyphen v. It's a verbose. You can use like this: py.test hyphen v. It will give more information about the test case. Okay, if you give py.test, what will happen? It will run all the test cases at a suit level. What level? Suit level. It go to sample one and see whether underscore test is there. Means it's going to execute all the test cases present in the sample one as well as both sample two. If I want to run only a particular py file, what do I do? You can give only the file name here. If I want to run in a suit level, what I can do is I can run give only py.test hyphen v verbose. It will give the detailed information about the test cases. Now see, how many test cases are there? 3 test cases. 2 got skipped and 1 got failed because in sample 1 we have how many test cases? 2 test cases. In sample 2 we have 1 test case totally. We have 3 test cases. Out of 3 test cases, 1 got failed and 2 got skipped. Okay, because if I remove this annotation, it will start execute. Now you have to say, if I want to run only a particular py file unit test methods, what do I do? 1 failed, 1 passed, and 1 is skipped. Okay, if I want to run only the sample2 underscore test.py file, in that way I have so many unit testing functions. Okay, I'm going to replicate the same thing. See here, I'm going to replicate the same thing, and then I'm going to make underscore 1. Whenever writing test case, we should start with test underscore. Now, what I'm going to do? How many units are there now? I'm going to have 3 unit test cases. 3 unit test cases. Okay, I'm going to make it underscore. These are the test case names. Test underscore dice number 1 underscore 1 is test case name. Test case name is test underscore dice number 2 is test case name. Now, if I want to run only the particular test cases present in the sample2 underscore test PY file, I want to run like this: py.test, give the file name of your Python file, sample2, give the tab. It will execute only. Why it's what's happening here? Why it's skipped? One failed, one skipped. Oh, because I give sample one, right? Sorry, I want to give sample two actually. Sample two. You can see how many test cases got passed. 3 test cases got passed. If you want to run sample one, it will only run the sample one PA file functional test case. In that, one is skipped, one is failed. If you want to run everything, what I have to do? Just give py.test hyphen v. It will run entire as a suit level. Suit level means it will run all the Python files. In all Python files, we have various functions, unit testing functions. It is 3 passed and 1 is skipped and 1 is failed. This is how you have to execute hyphen v stands for verbose. Okay, now I'm going to say just will have method. Now see the first unit test case. The number is 25. Square root of 25 will be 5. The expected value is 5. Actual value is 5. If both are same, the test case is going to pass. And then see a test square whether this test case will pass or fail. Whether this test case will pass or fail. Fail because sounds also 49. Your actual value is 49, expected value is 40. Okay, definitely is going to fail. And then this also going to get failed because you're looking for 10, but the actual value is going to be 11. Okay, expected value is 10, actual value is 11. It's going to fail. It's a old thing. You can use py.test. I think this py.test also will work like this because it's deprecated, I guess. Let's see. Pytest. It's working. Okay, because it's deprecated. Deprecated means still you can use, but current version you are using only py.test. Can use same thing pytest as well. Pytest sample 2 and then -v for web host. If you give more information, you can see it's giving more information. You can see passed. Okay, as well as first test is passed, second test case passed, third test case is passed. Okay, dicer number, test case number 1, test case number 2 also get passed, and then totally carrying 3 items. Fine. Now we're going to see how to execute a subset of test cases. Okay, for example, your client requirement is saying you have 1000 test cases. They ask you to execute a, they ask you to execute a only a particular test cases, only a particular test cases. You have so much of unit testing functions. In that function, for example, if you want to do some ingestion, for ingestion you have written some set of functions. Particular ingestion set of function you have to test means what you have to do. The test name should start with test underscore. Second point is to be you have to apply the test groups marker. I'm going to discuss later. What you have to do, you have to add all the tests in the groups, and then you can run as a group level using markers. Using markers. For example, if I want to call one common group, what I will do, add all the persons in the group, and then I will call the group name. If I call the group name, what will happen? Everyone will try to respond in the groups, right? Like for example, if you want to do some group chat, what will you do? In the group, you first add the context, and then if you post a message, everyone will get the message, right? Same things. If you want to run in a group, if you want to run in as a like the particular set of test cases, you can add in some groups, and then you can call the group name by using markers. Markers is one of the important feature. Using markers, what you can do, you can skip the test case as well. Pytest dot using markers. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to skip my test cases. This is all these things you can do, as well as you can group the test cases. Now, next thing is substring matching of test case names. Substring matching of test case names. Now, I'm going to take a notepad. I will do one thing. I will take all these methods. Okay, from the basic test case, I'll take all the methods. Okay, I'll keep in notepad. I'm going to make here the test case names. In the 3 test case names, which one is the common subset of substring? In these 3 test case names, which one is the common substring? Test underscore square root, test square root, test equal to square root. In these 3 names, which one is common? Substring means part of a string. Square root is a common, right? Now what you have to do, if I want to run a subset of test cases, first I want to match a test case names. Whichever name starts with C, whichever name starts with K, I'm going to run only the particular test cases. If I see here, I remove the square root. If I running like this, py.test, or you can pytest also. Pytest -k stands for it's going to match the pattern of a substring with whichever is going to square root. And then -p stands for verbose, is going to give the detailed information about the trace. Okay, now whichever method is having square root, that method is going to run. Out of 3 methods, which method is going to run? The first 2 method is going to run. The last method won't run because there is no string matching happening here. Okay, that's why first two methods will be. This is how you can do the grouping. This two test cases in one group. This test equalities will be another group. Okay, this is how you can execute able to execute the test cases as a groups. Now you can able to execute the two test cases as a single shot. I'm going to show now. K stands for substring. What are substring you are present in the method? Okay, if the string gets matched, what are string you are passing here at, that string is matched with the test case name, that string will, sorry, that particular function will run. Now, I have two methods, so test case names, test greater equal. In this, which one is common? Test greater is common, or test greater is common, great also common, greater also common, right? They used a part of slice of something called great, and then it tried to run all the two functions in the unit testing. Now, can I apply over here in this three test cases? Which one is common? Test case names. As of now, Isarium. As of now, command this thing. Okay, just go to this terminal window. The terminal window, just you can use Pytest or Pytest, both the same. Pytest is deprecated actually. You can use Pytest, and the K is substring. It's search for substring in the particular function name. Okay, I'm going to give Disarium, and then what you can do, Disarium, and then you can give -b where post. Now you can see it's running all the test cases because the Disarium is present in the all the test case names. Now I'm going to remove this thing. What will happen? If I run this test case, how many test cases will run? Only two test cases will run. You can see here, whatever Disarium is present, that for particular unit test case will run. The remaining test case won't run because it starts with test underscore one, right? It won't run. If it is Disarium, it will run. This is how you can do the grouping and can run a particular unit test cases. Subset of test cases you can run. You can say subset of test cases. Okay, that's what they mentioned here is. Okay, now we're going to see next one is grouping of test cases. See, there are two ways you can run the test cases. One is substring matching test case you can run. Other one is we're going to group the test cases. Now I'm going to use a marker concept. Marker having a set of various features attributed to test a function. Okay, Pytest is providing an inbuilt feature that is called marker. You can skip the test case, you can parameter test case, you can fail you can make the test case fail by using markers. By using markers, you can make you can voluntarily you can fail the test cases, you can skip the test cases, as well as you can parameterize test cases. We want to do some parameterization. Parameterization means, for example, my method is producing arrays of values. My method is producing array of values. For if I want test array of values, my expected value should be array of value, right? For array of value, I can parameterize and then I test with my function, which are producing array of results. I can test each value one by one, and then I can make the test cases passed. Now, the marker -m stands for marker. -m stands for marker. What I going to do? First, I showed about how to run a subset of test cases using substring matching. Now, grouping I'm going to show. For grouping, what you have to do, you have to use the markers. You have to use a pi symbol. Artist pi symbol in Python. Okay, you have to use a Pytest, and then you have to use some markers. But I want to make the test case fail. You can use XFail. Voluntarily, you can make the test. Even the test case condition is passed, you can make voluntarily make the test case fail. Okay, but I am not looking for this. I going to do the grouping actually. I going to do the grouping. Can I give some names for grouping? What I can do? You can give any name. Like yeah, like I'm going to give like unit testing. It's one group, and then copy and then paste it like this. See, the unit testing, you can give any name like this. I'm grouping this two test cases. Now, the two test cases having a common name. What the name is? Unit testing. The both tests have a common name, not common name, under a common group. The group name is unit testing. Under the group, we have the two different test cases. Okay, if I want to run a particular group, the group is unit testing, what you have to do, you have to use a symbol called -m, and then you have to provide the marker name. If you provide the marker name, that particular set of groups will be executed. I'm going to show what command I want to execute. Py.test and then -m stands for marker. What's the marker name? What is the marker name? The marker name we kept as unit testing. That's it. Marker name we kept as unit testing. Paste and then -b some verbose. Verbose means it's going to give some detailed information. If it's passed or failed, it's going to give us some detailed information. What's happening here? You can register the custom markers to avoid this warning. Okay, see, it's a warning actually, but it's running. You can see 2 passed out of 3. 2 is passed. Okay, because the what are the markers we have set, it got passed, and then out of 3 2 passed, because third test case is under different group, right? We didn't keep any group name for this thing. That's why 2 is passed. If you keep the same group name over here, it's going to run 3 test cases. It's going to run 3 unit test cases. As of now, in my group, I have only 2 test cases running, only 2 test cases. Now, this is how marker will work. If I voluntarily want my test case should fail, what I do? Voluntarily, I want my test to fail. Do XFail. Your test is going to get failed now. I'm going now what I'm going to do? I'm going to comment this thing. I have only one group. Okay, I have only one group. Okay, I remove this group name. Now what I'm going to do? If I run Pytest, what's the class name for this? Not class name, sorry. File name is sample2 test.py -v. Why it is saying? Okay, see what it's trying to do. The 2 test cases passed. This test case and test case passed, and one is going to be X passed means what happened? We are voluntarily making fail, but the test case passed actually. We are voluntarily making this test cases fail. That way is called XFail. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to see another topic. You know how to group the test cases, how to run a subset of test cases using substring matching. Next we're going to see about fixtures. Fixtures means, okay, I will take this topic later. Okay, fixtures somewhat like you want to run some DB connections, as well as you want to do some front end testing, you can use fixtures. For you, fixtures not required. Okay, what I'm going to show, how to run a test case in parallel. How to run a test case parallel. For example, you have 1000 test cases. If the test case is running sequentially, it will going to take more time. You have a bunch of test cases. you're going to run in sequential order, it's going to take more time as a suit level. If you increase workers, worker means like if you do the multi-threading means parallel execution, what will happen? You have 4 workers means of we have 4 threads. One thread will execute 250 test cases, another thread will execute 250 test cases, third thread will execute another 250 test cases, and then fourth thread will execute another 250 test cases. It will reduce your execution time. You can increase the threads. Now, what you have to do whenever you're executing, you have to use the -m. -m stands for the multiple workers. In Spark, we'll say right worker nodes. The same thing here. You can increase the threads, and then while increase threads, what will happen? Parallel processing will happen. In the parallel processing, you will save execution time. If you're running a suit level, you have 10,000 test cases, functional test cases, then you can go for this parallel execution. You can run test case in parallel. If you want to run test case in parallel, you want to install this library, Pytest X distribution library. I hope I already installed this thing. You can copy and paste the using pip installer. You can install this X distribution. X distribution means you're going to run the bunch of test cases in different worker nodes. Okay, now I going to execute. Let's see. I dot test. Now n is the number of worker nodes. I going to give 6. 6 means 6 threads parallel going to work. Okay, the execution will be very faster. Okay, now see the execution time. Because it's very fast. It took approximately 1.57 seconds. Okay, see what I'm saying is whenever going parallel distribution, don't execute any 3 or 4 test cases. Go for like 1,000 or 10,000 test cases. Then only you can see the performance. Don't ask me now like it's giving 1.69 seconds. It's not a good performance. Don't say like this. Okay, if you go for a bunch of test cases, then your performance will be really good. You can increase the number of threads by n of 9. Okay, you can see parallelly, you can see multiple threads is working parallelly, right? I given like 9, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 9 parallel threads work, and then the execution will be faster. Okay, this is how you can do the parallel execution, and then you know how to group the test cases, and then we will talk about the XFail and skip test cases. Okay, now sometimes you might be repeating the unit test cases, repeating the test cases. Out of 5 test cases, 4 test cases will pass. That 10 test cases giving some random outputs. Sometimes giving the result as 5, sometimes giving the result as 7. Okay, what are the value I am expecting? The actual value it's differed. It's differed. Only I want to test only the particular test cases. Okay, out of 5 test cases, 4 test cases get passed, and then remaining other test cases giving some random results. For that, what I can do, I can use marker Pytest @Pytest dot mar dot skip. I can use first 4 test cases I can skip because it's giving the good results. Actually, it's giving the test case passed. Why I want to run the same test case again and again? Okay, it will kill our time as well. I want to execute only the last 100 test cases. For that, what you can do, you can skip the first 4 test cases using the marker interface. Sorry, you can use Pytest dot mark, and then dot of skip you can give, so you can skip all the test cases. The same already said, right? Instead of you can use add Pytest dot mark dot skip, you can use. This is how you can skip the particular test cases. Now we're going to see about the what is XFail. Okay. For example, the whatever test you are, it's not relevant for some time due to some reasons. New features being implemented. We already had a test for that feature. Okay. This kind of things you can go for the skip and XFail. Now I'm going to talk about the XFail test cases. Okay. Uh, okay. What I'm saying is, if you want to make the test case voluntarily fail, okay. For example, Pytest execute the fail test cases. If you make X fail, the details of the test case will not be printed if the test case fails. What they're saying is, you can do for two things. You can make the test case voluntarily fail, or if the test case gets failed, it won't print any information. Now you can check on that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to have a sample underscore one test. I'm going to use a marker interface. Instead of skip, what I'm going to do, X fail. Now I'm going to give some values 100 here. If my test case gets failed, it won't give any additional information about the failures. That is the first requirement actually. We're going to test now. Okay, hold a minute. I should not run like this. What I have to do, I go to terminal and then I can give py.test, and then what I can do, I can give the file name sample.py file -v. See here, I given X file over here. Even though my expected value, actual value are differ, my test case got failed. It's not giving the failure information. It's not giving the any failure information. That's the use of XFail. That's the use of XFail. Okay, and then I'm going to show one more framework, nose2 framework. Okay, in the nose2 framework, if you use XFail, what will happen? You can make the test case voluntarily fail. Nose2 framework. Okay, but here XFail, if you use XFail, what will happen? Even though your expected actually both are different, your test case is going to fail, but it won't give any additional information. It's not showing any assets here. It's not showing, giving any asset as of now. Okay, that's the use of XFail. This is how you can perform the unit testing. Now, I'm going to show one more framework, and then after I'm going to come to this Pytest, I'm going to show two more things. How to run a test case by parameterizing. Through parametering, how to run test case I'm going to show. I'm going to show one more framework. That framework, it is a built-in framework. No need to install any libraries for this UnitTest framework. It's one of the popular framework actually. Both Pytest and UnitTest and Nose2. These are the very popular frameworks available now. Okay, if anyone want to do some unit testing, they will go for this UnitTest or Pytest or Nose2 using mock. There's one framework called mock framework. They use a combination of mock and they use a combination of mock and Nose2. Okay, now second framework we're going to see, it's a unit testing framework. For example, if I want to test a particular module, developer what will do, you will give some random inputs and then you check for the asset condition, both expected values are same. Before going to production, they will perform this unit testing to detect the defects or bugs or errors. They will try to analyze why it's why the bug is came for this module. They will check and then they will detect the bugs and then they try to fix the codes one by one. That's the purpose of unit testing. And then it's one of the built-in library I already said to you. In the built-in library, we have one module called UnitTest Module for testing a unit of source code. For example, if a developer writing a huge code, okay, around 20,000 lines are there. You want to test only a piece of module in that 20,000 lines of test code. You can use this unit test module and then you can perform the test case on that. Okay, it is initially you can identify the bugs as well as, and then before going to production, as well as you can give the deliver the code in a bug-free manner. In a bug-free manner. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this UnitTest framework. I'm going to show how to test using the UnitTest framework. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to have one more PI file, one more PI file. The file name you have to give unit test. Okay, you're going to give unit test, make it small, unit test, and then unit underscore test, unit underscore test. Now the second framework is, it's a built-in framework actually. The framework name is UnitTest Framework. UnitTest Framework. Okay, it's one of the old one. Still many are common UnitTest Framework. But recently I can see like NOS2 and then Pytest they're using. The old framework is a unit test framework. Now I'm going to say how to do the unit testing using unit test framework. Let's what we can do in the unit test framework. Okay. What we can do. Okay, we'll do one thing. First, we will go for a simple test cases. Then I will show how to uh, pass a argument to the method. Okay. Now I'm going to have one method. First, we'll create a method. In Py file, the I can give like program underscore 7. Now add all the numbers. Okay, I'm going to pass argument as a list. From the list, I'm going to add all the numbers. Def sum. Let's pass one argument, and then keep one variable total equal to 0, and then use one for loop iteral variable because I'm going to pass the argument as list. Okay, and then arg, and then what we can do, total equal to total plus value. And then if someone calls this method, I want to return the total. This is the actual method I'm going to do the unit testing. Okay. Okay. This program, this Py file is program underscore 7. Now I want to do the unit test. Now what I have to do? This program underscore 7 is there, right? First look at the path. Right now I'm in the entry programs. From the entry programs I'm going to call program underscore 7. From P caps, right? From program underscore 7 import function name is sum. Import function name is sum. Okay, fine. And then what we can do, can we create a class? Okay, now I'm going to create a class. Okay, UnitTest frameworks works on the class objects. You want to create a class, and then I'm going to calculate some. Going to have the class name is calculate sum. You have to open the brackets. In that, what you have to do, you have to call this module. Now in this module, I'm going to execute the test cases. I'm going to execute the test cases. This is my class name. Okay, what I'm trying to do here is I'm calling the module. In that module, I'm going to perform the test cases. I'm going to run the test cases. That's it. Now I'm going to write the test case name. For test case name, we're going to create a function. The the test case name should start with test underscore. Okay. Now what we can keep? I can keep like this, right? I can keep like addition. The class name is addition. Okay. Or we can keep like what we can keep. Class name is addition. Okay. Now my test case name is calculate sum. See, the first parameter will be self because you are in class, right? You have to pass self is nothing but a refer to current class instance. Whenever creating object for this class, the first argument will be referred to a class instance. Okay, let it be. And then now what I'm going to do? I'm going to have one list, or we can say array. Okay, or we can say array or list. Array means it should have a same data type. Because I have same data type, I can say array. If I have some mixed data type, then I can say list. If I have some mixed data type, then I can say list. Now I can say now it's a array because I want to pass this array to my function. Okay, now I'm going to have equal to, okay, make it equal to here, equal to, what's the method name? Sum is the method name, right? Sum is method name. Just pass the argument data, and then store results in one variable. I'm going to store the results in one variable called results. Now, what we're going to do using class instance, okay, can listen here. In class instance, I want to use the assert equals. Now, how many parameters you have to pass for assert equals? You have to say for assert equals, how many parameters you have to pass? How many parameters we have to pass?
3 parameters.
What are 3 parameters?
First, second, message.
And then we have to pass. Okay,
Message.
first is nothing but first is the expected value, second is actual value, and then you can give some meaningful message. It's optional actually. Assert equals, and then what I'm going to do? What's my expected value? My expected value will be, I'm going to write here. This is going to be actual value. Okay, actual value. My expected value. Add this value. That's going to be expected value. Add all these values. 3 plus 2 plus 1, 6. Now pass expected value, comma actual value, and then message you can give. Total sum is okay. You can give like this messages. Total sum is okay. This is how you can write a test case for the UnitTest framework. If you want to do some unit testing, want to test a particular method, then you can use UnitTest framework, and then you should have a class. In the class, what you have to do, you have to call this module, and then you have to mention dot test case. If you are writing only test case, you can run test case. If you want to run in suit level, you can use suit. Suit means what? The suit means in the suit we have multiple test cases, but I'm going to write only single test case. That's why I'm giving dot test case. If you want to run at suit level, you can give dot test suit. In the class, we have multiple test cases. We will run all the test cases. Okay. Now I'm going to run on single test cases, so I can do test cases. Now, if I want to run this test case, what I can do? So it's a class, right? I want to create an object. Before creating object, what do you have to do? Create a driver code. Sorry, define a driver code. Define a driver code. Driver code. Define a driver code. What's driver code? If my variable name is comparison operator, if it is main module, then I go to create object. Can I create object for this? Can you create the object for this? Okay, there you have a class. Using class and you can create an object and they can run directly. But the UnitTest framework is really different actually. What I going to do? I going to call this module. See, normally how you create object? Using class name, you create object, right?
Yes.
Using our class name, will create objects and give some reference equal to addition of will create. But if you want to run in a UnitTest framework, you should not follow this approach. What you have to do, you have to call the module, and then in that module, I going to run my main function. I'm going to run my main function. Now it's going to run your test cases. Now this is going to entry point. Okay. Now in this module, it's going to run the entire main model inside the test case module. If I run the script, what's the test case showing? Pass or fail?
Passed.
Passed. You can see it took only 0 milliseconds. Okay, it took 0 milliseconds, and then this is how you can able to run your test cases. If you want to run Pytest cases, you want to install the library of Pytest, and then if you want to run the test case in parallel, you have to use a distribution library, and then you can run the test cases in a parallel way. But if you want to run the UnitTest case framework, you have to. It's a inbuilt. No one needs to install any library. In Python itself, they're giving this library for you. You can use that library, and then you can run your test cases. Okay. This is how you can run your test cases. I'm going to sign up the session. Saturday, I'm going to say how to generate reports. Okay, I think hope if you are running some program, if you're running some functions, or if you are, for example, if you are writing some functions before going to production, you can test these functions using unit testing. There are n number of unit test frameworks available. Just talk to your architect. They will say some good framework for you, and then you can use the framework, and then you can do the unit testing. Mostly, you can have different assets as well. You have different assets. You can see, right? Assert true.
Yeah.
Assert true means assert true, assert almost equals, assert count equals. If you want to check count, you can use count equals, dictionary. There are n number of assets is there. That's the only thing you have to keep in mind. You have to use the assert statement to validate the actual value and actual value. This is how you can do the unit test cases. Saturday, I'm going to say how to generate a reports using some plugins. We have so many plugins. We have called we have called Mock plugin, Mock 2 plugin. Jacago, if you're using Java, you can use Jacago plugin to generate the reports, unit test reports. Okay, these are the ways to generate the reports. Like you can see the test is passed for unit testing. Now I'm going to signing off the session.